Welcome to another Zincast, and we are going to be breaking down round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And the hockey gods are not allowing my buddy Chris here to join us, but he's going to text me his picks, and we're going to put them in there. Also, this video is being released late. Made my picks before the games all started, except for one game, the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're going to a Game 7 tonight. And I just have picks for both, just if whoever goes through. So, because if I wait any longer, then we're just going to, all the other series might be over by the time this is done. Obviously not, but I mean, multiple games are being played on each one. So I kind of want to just get this out. So it's gonna seem a little weird doing a double pick for that, but we're going to do what we have to do. All right, so first, quick recap. Depending on the outcome of that series, pretty much split all the picks in the first round. Chris did a little bit better than me because he did pick the Bruins over the Capitals, and that actually went fairly easy there. So I thought that was going 7. I thought the Caps had a shot, but I guess not. All right, so I guess, let's just make it a quick video. Let's get right to the picks. So the first game, and actually before we do that, we're going to have a little guest on the show. Might as well, right? We don't have Chris here. I kind of wanted Chris here, but we're going to have a guest on the show, and he doesn't know that Chris is in here, so it's going to be kind of funny when he mentions Chris a bunch of times, and Chris is not here. All right, so Mike LeConte, welcome to the program.
Thank you, guys. Happy to be here. How's it going, Chris and Chris?
All right, so let's go to the tail of the tape, and we'll get back to Mike. Colorado Avalanche versus the Vegas Golden Knights. They pretty much split their regular season, their divisional play there, so it was pretty much 4-4. 4 wins for each team. And if you guys saw the game last night, the Avalanche pretty much scored a touchdown and kicked the extra point. And they handily beat the Vegas Knights 7-1. I think Vegas looked a little fatigued. Remember, they went Game 7 with the Wild, a bunch of overtime games also in that series. And Colorado has been kind of just relaxing and waiting, and clearly the time off did not affect them at all. Okay, I think it benefited them. So, listen, I really think that this is going to go 7 games. And I'd made my pick before yesterday's game. I think McKinnon and the Avs are just going to power through them. I think 7 games, McKinnon and the Avs. Golden Knights, listen, I mean, if they won, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm going the Avs. Mike, let's head back to Mike and say, Mike, what do you think about the Avalanche and the Golden Knights?
Oh, well, the Honda West, for me, is a clear 5-gamer. You've got the Golden Knights with Fleury have just been unstoppable, and Pacioretty has just been a force getting them points late in the game. So for me, they're 5 for Vegas.
Okay, so let us go to the Carolina Hurricane and the Tampa Bay Lightning, and let us break that one down. Again, series very even during the regular season. I think the back-to-back is very hard to do. And for some reason, I just don't touch the Lightning. Listen, they really impressed me the way they were playing in that first round. Because I said in that first video that they looked a little fatigued. So, I mean, I picked them to win, but I was curious about their fatigue. But they actually looked fresh. Maybe they were just taking it really slow during the regular season. They just want to come in here and lay it all out. But I did already pick. I know there's already been 1 game played, but I did pick. And again, I think this is another 7-game series. I just think that you can pick either of these teams. But I'm going with the Carolina Hurricanes. That is my pick, and I'm going Carolina Hurricanes in 7. See what Mike has to say. Mike, Carolina Hurricanes versus Tampa Bay Lightning.
I think the Lightning definitely have a chance at going for a back-to-back win for the Cup. So for me, they're coming out on top in 6.
All right, so now let us get to the next series, the Boston Bruins versus the New York Islanders. And yeah, again, I thought Washington would be in this situation, but I was, again, very impressed with Boston play. I think the addition of Taylor Hall has really, really turned this team around, has given them a little extra offensive punch. Normally, they're a very defensive team, they're a physical team, and they got great goaltending with Tuukka Rask. But Hall has made it where like they have multiple lines that can actually score instead of like their top line, their Marchand line. So I really like that addition. I think that the Islanders were outplayed in every game against the Penguins except for one. I think the Penguins should have won that series 4-1. It was really the tale of goaltending. Apparently, Trotz watched my video because I said Penguins will beat Varlamov. They beat him twice, and that's why I picked the Penguins. But they could not beat Sorokin. So apparently he watched the video, he switched up his goalies, and Sorokin did a great job against the Penguins. And Tristan Jarry on the Penguin side gave up too many soft goals, and he was not the all-star goalie that we saw 2 years ago or last year, not this season, previous season. So, in this, I'm going Boston, and I'm going 5 games Boston. I was going to say Boston sweep, but I'm going to give the Islanders a little bit of credit. I think they steal one game. I think a goalie stands on their head. The difference in this series is that Tuukka Rask is playing that, not Tristan Jarry. And the Islanders are just not going to be able to score at will on him. And Boston, I think, is going to put plenty of pucks behind the net. So let us go ahead and go back to Mike and talk about the Boston Bruins and the New York Islanders. Boo!
Well, I represent the Penguins, so unfortunately I can't support my guys from the island. Sorry, Dad. But I'm going Boston this one in 5. I think they've got the power, and I don't think the Islanders are going to be able to scrap it together past a team of their stature.
Okay, so now we go to the final series. But like I said, at the time of filming, we don't know if it's going to be Toronto versus the Winnipeg Jets or if it's going to be the Montreal Canadiens versus Winnipeg Jets, because there's a Game 7 tonight. Toronto had 2 chances to close this out, and they have not been able to. And actually, I would like to say that last game in Montreal finally lifted some restrictions, and they had some fans. And I believe that contributed to that win. And the part that I think is a little bit unfair is Toronto, they are still in full lockdown. So they do not have fans tonight in a Game 7. Imagine they could get some fans in there in Game 7. That the Habs, the Canadians, played their Game 7. That Game 6, that one in that building, they had fans in there. That had to make a must-win so much easier for them. And now Toronto is, and obviously both teams are in must-win, but now Toronto's going back home to a stadium where you're going to hear crickets because there's no one in there, and I just think that's a disadvantage for them. So anything can happen in a Game 7. So we do have to talk, though. The Jets swept the Edmonton Oilers. I didn't see that coming. In fact, I thought it might be the opposite way. Connor McDavid was a no-show in the playoffs, and actually Chris had mentioned that in the previous video, how he tends to be Superman in the regular season, but his playoff track record is it's not desirable. It's just pedestrian is the word I'm looking for. So I'm going to break this down twice, and we're going to ask Mike twice too. We're going to pretend the Montreal Canadiens win tonight, and they're playing the Winnipeg Jets. If that happens, I have the Jets in 6. Let's see what Mike thinks about that. Mike, Canadiens versus the Jets. What do you think?
Well, I'm also a big Habs fan. I like to see them coming, even though they tend to be an underdog team. And I think they can pull it off in 7 games, honestly.
Okay. And now, switching gears. Let's pretend the Toronto Maple Leafs win tonight, which is what I predicted originally. I said that Toronto would get through this series. So let's say that happens, and they play the Winnipeg Jets. I mean, you cannot discount how the Jets played the Oilers. I mean, there was a ton of overtime games there. Their goalie really was phenomenal. I'm going to have to give some credit to the Jets here. I am going to go Toronto, but I'm going Toronto in 7 because I am not confident with the pick. I think I have 3 series now that I picked in 7. No, 2. No, he had Lightning. No, this is 3. Yeah, this would be 3. So if Toronto wins tonight, then I'm going Toronto in 7 against the Winnipeg Jets. And you know what? Let's throw it back to Mike and get his opinion on Toronto and the Winnipeg Jets.
Well, I think Toronto definitely has the potential to come out on top. I would say the best that they could do is in 6, but could go to 7 if they're able to keep it together and come out over Winnipeg. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Back to you guys.
All right, and thanks for Mike for joining us. And unfortunately, I thought we were gonna have Chris here and we could get something more going, but this video, keeping it short. Those are the picks. I will definitely write Chris's picks somewhere on here. You got Mike's picks, so we'll see how we do, and let's see who wins tonight's game. A little odd. We made 5 picks for 4 series. All right, listen, have a good one, everyone. And I also wanted to say, because I'm putting out this video on Memorial Day, just remember, today is about remembering all our fallen heroes, and thank you, everyone, for your service, those who have served and those who currently serve. Thank you again, and have a good one, everyone. Enjoy the hockey.